It's our honor to have her with us today. Let us say hi to Chef Vindy Lee. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, ladies?
Thank you for
very
coming
ravishing
here.
in red
Absolutely.
today. Yes.
Thank you.
Gotta
so
sit up
much.
straight first, Chef.
Exactly.
I looked at her
Straight to the
like,
question.
That's
Are
a
we
reminder right there.
all right?
Yeah, you're doing well. You're doing
Where
well.
we're sitting now.
All right.
All right, Vindy, I mean, you're such an inspiration to so many people, but you actually started your career as a chef. And how did you actually get into sort of sharing tips and tricks and just become an expert in table manners, really? Can you share a little bit about that?
Oh, wow. Thank you. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I do know a thing or two about table manners. As a chef, you know things like sequence of service, and you actually dictate or suggest the cutleries used. So in that manner, we do know the proper cutleries used.
Right.
So in terms of other aspects in culture, let's say social etiquette, the way you sit, the way you talk, these things I started since young because my dad has a very strict rule around the house that we should follow in terms of posture and respecting people. So I think it was a great foundation for me to start from there.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you got it from home, actually.
Sounds
Got
like
it from my
mother.
dad.
Starts
From home,
from your
yeah.
dad, from home.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting, like what Ukrainians asked earlier. You start being from a chef, and then you turn.
I
to
didn't
chef.
realize there was that
Exactly.
correlation between it. Now that you've mentioned it,
Yeah,
it actually
yeah.
makes more sense than we actually thought beforehand,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's that connection there between, you know, using certain cutleries and whatnot, and sort of having that etiquette, especially when you're dining in a setting of like a restaurant or.
Sure. So we had the sequence of service,
Yeah.
and we know how to, you know, from appetizers to desserts, and yes, definitely.
Do we actually need 3 spoons? That's a question I
than
really
3
wanted to ask. I've always wondered.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the menu, and it's good to have around the house just in
Right.
case your guests want to
You never
come.
know.
Right, and you have the proper utensils to serve it with.
Yes. One thing that I always wonder, is there any differences between American setting, dinner, European table setting, or is there any difference? How you share and explain that to your followers?
Sure, that's a great question because there is a vast difference between these two. So when you look at these two cultures, let's say the European British culture versus the American culture, they don't talk very much.
Yes.
American cultures are more open, more conversational, and if you look at the restaurants, it's set up quite differently. The European restaurants, they encourage you to linger. They encourage you to spend a lot of time talking and eating. In Americans, you just sit and you go. So in terms of that, you can already see the difference, right? And the way your servers will come over in American restaurants, how is your food? How are you doing? Da, da, da.
Yeah.
In European
Sure.
restaurants, they just leave you to it. You have private conversations. And because the people, let's say, the cultures is such that they don't really air dirty laundry in public. So in that kind of behavior, they are more refined.
Right.
The European dining experience.
Right.
In terms of cutlery, there is also a difference.
Okay.
Basic standard napkin procedures is the same, European or American.
Right.
But the way you hold your fork and knife, that's where the huge difference is.
Really? There's actually a difference.
Yeah. So in British
curious.
culture, the main difference is you don't lift your fork this way, like you scoop it to your mouth.
In what culture? Sorry.
And British.
In British. All
dining.
right. Okay.
And, European continental
culture,
dining,
right.
we call that. So the tines of your fork is never upwards. It's always this way. So you're eating like a robot, if you may.
Oh, it's facing down. isn't
Yes,
it?
yes. And another difference is when, in between bites, when you're biting,
Yeah.
the knife never leaves your hand
The
in
knife.
a European culture.
Oh, okay.
In American, you put your knife down and then you switch to your right hand and you eat it, which is a more popular way to eat in Indonesia because the Muslim population
Yeah.
largely likes to eat with the right hand.
Right.
Yes. in the hands, especially specifically, without any
the hands,
cutlery.
yes.
But we can see here.
Yeah, this
we're
is one of
having
your
lele
videos.
here. And okay, what is that? Is that a butter knife?
That
What
would
kind of
be
knife is
a
that?
fish knife. A butter
a
knife.
fish knife.
There is something called a master butter knife that looks very similar to this fish knife. A butter knife is about 10 to 12 centimeters. That will be the master butter knife, something smaller than this, but this is especially a fish knife with a pointed edge, so the pointed edge can lift out the bones from the fish.
Wow.
Fine bones.
I was today years old when I realized there was a fish knife.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Sometimes we are confused about the spoon. Only the spoon.
This is amazing.
Especially for fish.
Exactly.
And it's functional.
It looks very functional from this video for sure, Vinny. No,
Yeah.
okay, but say I was to have guests come to my house and I was serving them a fish dish, but I don't really have a fish knife. Now, maybe are there any tips or advice that you can give me and maybe our followers at home on what can we do if we only have basic utensils at home? Can we still make the most out of it?
Yeah, sure. If you, let's say this fish course, you don't have a fish knife, you can use your table knife or your dinner knife and fork, and it'll work just as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is where the chef component of it is, comes in handy. I know how to fillet a fish.
Yeah.
So in that form, it's easier for me to do it pretty quickly and
down your
neat.
alley.
Yeah, but as with any skill, you won't get it the first time. So I wouldn't, don't dismay if you don't get it the first few times, because it takes years and even decades of experience and even life experience. Use some common sense if you are dining out on some like substitutes or the way you behave and stuff like that. So this is like a long, lifelong thing.
Exactly.
It's not something you pick up in a 3-month class.
And you become the expertise.
Yeah, this is
it's a process
experience. That's
that we have to go through.
because this is a social activity.
Right.
You gotta go to activities, you gotta go to events to realize how to behave.
Yeah, I agree.
Different events with different cultural.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, in addition to what Karina's asking before or earlier, how we adjust with simple utensils, but we want to implement the table manner at home, especially.
Okay, well, I have asked my audience. I made a video about different spoons. I put out 7 different types of spoons.
Yeah.
And they said, well, in Indonesia, there's a big spoon and small spoon, and that's
Exactly.
it. And I said, well, you can still make do with it. You know, it's table manners is not that stiff unless you have a white tablecloth service or a white glove service. And in my videos, I always put white tablecloth indicating formal dining. And I usually implement British, European formal dining because it's the strictest one in the world of dining etiquette, even compared to American etiquettes. And if you know British dining etiquette, it's like having a passport to going to certain events from cocktail to black tie.
Right.
So that's
to have the right etiquette to be.
Right. And not only that, but you will enjoy yourself more because you won't think about whether you're doing things wrong way or using the wrong stuff, you know. So it's, I think, it's a tool for you.
Right. There's definitely a lot of thought and effort actually put into this. It's more than just dining, right?
Exactly.
It's how you really use the correct utensils. It's how you sit. It's sort of everything combined.
As we saw in the video, this is where Chef Vindy.
So we can still eat burgers with our hands, right?
Using the table manner. Can you imagine?
That's still acceptable.
You grab the buns and then you spread the buns with the sauce. And then you can eat, what's the word you say? Slay anggunli.
I love that. Oh
my God. Amazing.
That was born out of, I don't know where.
That just kind of happened.
And I start using it. So with the burger, some foods are designed to eat with hands, like burgers and pizzas, even French fries. It's okay to eat with hands, even croissant or croissant. In France.
How do you say it again?
Croissant.
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 Croissant. All right.
Croissant. I'd like
Or English
one
is
croissant,
croissant, right?
please.
Say it anggunly, please, Karina.
Croissant. Croissant.
Croissant.
Croissant.
All right.
I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So in France, they will eat croissants, croissant,
Croissant.
with hands. They would tear with the hands.
Right.
But over here, when I order croissants, they will come with a knife and a fork. So that's the big difference there.
Ah, true.
I do eat my
Croissant.
with a knife and a fork. I mean, it gets a little messy, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
Exactly.
Yeah,
The
sure.
crumble will
Yeah,
it
well,
goes
well,
crumble
The-
all over the
trick
place.
is not to lift up from your plate more
Is
than
it
an
to tear?
inch.
Oh.
So as with the donuts as
Yeah.
well, if you lift your powdered donuts, the sugar is going to fly everywhere.
Exactly.
So you lift it just a little bit and you tear it to little pieces. That's how you.
Wow. Okay. It's so nice, to learn something
know.
new, to reshaping ourselves as
Yeah,
a true
maybe I'll
lady.
actually be more presentable at like
These are like
events
gentlemen
now.
too.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
We did
yeah.
it for ourselves.
Maybe we should
First
send
of
our gentlemen or Vinny's way too, so they know how.
It's so
Social
interesting
etiquette.
because Chef Vindy not only show us how to sit properly with the table manner and everything, but she also show us about something that very common, like eating donut,
Yes.
burger, something. But
as well.
also we have a challenge, Korea.
Yes, we have a
They
challenge
have a
for
challenge for us.
Bring it on.
I thought it
Actually,
was for Vinny or for
no,
us?
it's challenge
Oh
for
my
us.
goodness, a
She
test
will
already?
show-
I'm not ready
She
for
will
this.
show us how to eat properly with the table manner.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
All
We've got
right,
it
we
right
go to
here.
the,
Oh, my
section
mother
right
would be
there.
so proud if I passed this.
So it's a challenge for us, remember?
Yes.
All right, please.
So we have
Shall-
some
So what do we have
cake.
here?
Oh my God.
We have some snacks.
I'm so nervous.
I'm nervous
I don't
too.
know how to. So this is the challenge for us. Again, Karina.
Yes.
There's a snacks right here. Snacks, bowl snacks, and then the
Cheese
cake,
balls.
and then what is
Coffee?
it? The coffee. And Chef Vindy will show us how to do it properly
Yeah.
using the table manner
Yes.
and the right etiquette.
Especially the coffee, because I always spill my coffee.
Exactly. So we can do it
Yes.
right.
Okay.
All right.
So let's start with the coffee.
Okay.
This would be, your normal coffee pots.
Yes.
This is actually a. All right. You can pour your coffee pretty easily, right? So,
Does
Just
it have to
hold
be
it.
held a certain way?
okay. So let's
Chef,
just
this is
pour the
yours.
coffee first.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now, traditionally, if you were to have a porcelainware, you would put your milk or sugar first
Yeah.
to protect the porcelainware because
Okay.
Stain.
a few centuries ago, the quality of porcelain is not very good.
Right.
So to protect it from cracking, we add some room temperature milk or
Oh,
something
because of
else
the heat.
first.
because of
Right.
that.
Right. So for drinking coffee, it's a little bit different from tea in that you can put your fingers through the
I'm
handle.
gonna try and pour this.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can give this a go.
The holder is on the right side.
Oh yeah, is there specific?
Okay.
Here you go, Sean. Does it have to be on the right or the left, or is that?
On the right.
On the right.
So you would twist your. If this is the real situation, let's say we're in a standing party, pick up your saucer. This is to prevent any spills.
Okay.
Usually coffee tables, even if you're sitting, usually coffee tables are about 70 centimeters high.
Okay.
So this is to prevent spilling.
Okay.
And ladies with lipstick, you always drink from one spot of the cup
Okay.
to prevent your lip
marking
stains from
everywhere.
everywhere. So
Okay.
that's a very big turn
Oh,
off.
okay.
So
So,
just choose from one
let's just open
side.
our mask first.
Yeah, usually it's 6 o'clock.
Okay.
right?
Are you allowed to blow?
It's not allowed to make a sound, right?
No blowing.
Okay.
You shouldn't blow. You should wait for your coffee to cool.
Okay. Oh, I'm
and
so
then
nervous.
you
I know, me
drink.
too.
That's okay. And then you drink, right?
So you hold the plate?
just
Oh,
this
just
way.
normal.
Just
Okay.
normally, as
Okay.
you're comfortable.
As normal as possible.
As comfortable as
I
you
just
can.
want to impress her.
Yes,
So
yes.
okay.
I'm very impressed.
I need an
Okay.
A+ too.
So you drink coffee to you, not you to coffee always.
Oh, coffee to us. Okay.
Yeah. You may lean a little bit, but you don't bend. There's a
Okay,
big
no
difference.
bending.
So you imagine, like, this is very good. Imagine there is an invisible line holding your shoulders to the top of your head.
Okay.
So you don't.
No, okay. so
Right,
relax
right.
shoulders.
So relax the shoulders, and then you can drink. Right. Try to hold it straight. It looks better. Because if you hold it this way, if it leans down,
it tips
yeah,
over.
right,
Okay.
right. It still
The
spills.
plate is
So you
has
just
to be
drink.
straight.
Very good. And then you
good
put
coffee.
down your, oh, very good, saucer, and then continue conversation.
Oh, okay.
That's how you drink coffee.
Don't
Now,
make a noise, please, Karina.
if this were, if this were tea,
Okay.
okay? If this were tea, you may not put your fingers through the handle.
Oh, we can.
No, you cannot.
Oh.
You hold it this way,
Okay, imagine this is
like a pinching.
Oh, like a pinching the holder. Okay.
And no thumb on the top
no
of the
thumb
handle.
on the top. Okay.
You got it right. So this is always for drinking tea. You have your afternoon tea.
What
and-
about the pinky? Does it?
Oh, the pinky always stays in.
Oh, always
Always
stays in. Okay.
This is for
I will
pseudo
note that.
princesses probably, but we will always put it in there
Okay.
and we sip.
Oh, and
Right.
and our
Right.
But
so
coffee is allowed
coffee,
for your
your finger
finger
can
to
go
go
through
in.
the handle.
Oh,
but
that's
for tea,
the difference.
no.
Oh, it's
So that's how you know if
nice.
someone's
so good
drinking
to
tea
know.
or coffee.
That's how
Exactly.
you know.
Okay. And then next one is this is one of the challenging situation every time I go to cafe or I order some dessert
Okay.
and they serve us the very tall cake
Right.
size of cake.
Yes.
Sometimes we cut the cake and then the cake was
topple over. I do that all the
see.
time.
so we just ruin our etiquette at the dining table.
Right,
So
right.
how we
Well,
do
we're at
it,
it.
chef?
Right. So, okay. So one thing, might as well I'll explain. Right. If you were in a coffee shop and you had sugar sachets,
Yeah.
I see people do this all the time. You take a sugar and you do this.
Oh, yeah.
And then you open your sugar.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't make noise.
Don't make noise.
Yeah, you don't want to be that person sticking out.
Yeah.
No.
And after I see them putting the sugar and then they just do this and then put it on the table. It's just
Messy.
Not,
That is
not
so
nice,
wrong.
right?
Okay, not
so what
nice.
you can do is after you just take a sugar, put it
So you
in
don't
there.
need to shake it.
Please don't shake
Don't
it.
have it.
And then we can just fold your trash or whatever at the side of your saucer. So it is always good to have a saucer, right?
Okay.
so rescuing you from the cake disaster situation.
Cake tumbling.
Okay. So with cakes, there are three main types of cakes. A dry cake, like a pound cake or a cupcake. Those cakes without moist icing, you can use your fingers. With the moist cake, this is moist cake.
This is the moist.
With moist cake, you use a fork.
Okay.
Okay.
Simply with a fork. If you have something like a combination, this would be a dry and a moist. Why? Because you have your dry nuts on the outside, that's the crunchy part, and the moist cake part with the jam. As with ice cream cake, also you take your fork and your spoon. Usually it's bigger than this, okay? It's a dessert fork and a dessert spoon, about 5 centimeters longer. You put your fork in there to hold the portion in.
Okay.
And then use your spoon
Oh, we cut it.
to slice it,
Egg. Oh.
right?
I see.
And then you eat it with your spoon. If it falls like this, you eat it with your spoon, and then you won't make a mess.
Oh.
Yes, so the fork is there to hold the cake down. So let me just do the
What happens if we only have either a spoon or a
Or the
fork?
fork.
You have to make do to eat with either,
That's the
but
challenge.
I would suggest with a fork,
Okay.
actually.
Oh.
Yeah, the proper way is to eat moist cake with a fork.
All right.
Right, but if you're given a spoon and a fork, you use
Take both.
Or
But
we can actually ask about the.
you may
we can
ask,
actually
yes. But let's
okay.
say if you're at a house party,
Right.
buka,
you can open your mouth.
Oh,
Chef,
okay.
Yes.
Yay.
That makes you comfortable to show us,
Show us how it's
to
done.
eat properly, like a
Okay.
lady.
Okay. So we always follow what the host gives us.
Okay.
So if the host has prepared, usually these types of dinners are kind of thought-consuming and prepared for
Right.
you already. You just use it, okay? So if your host gives you a fork, make do with a fork. If your host gives you a spoon and a fork,
And the fork, yes.
same thing. You
We
hold
hold
this
the
so it doesn't
okay.
fall,
Yeah.
and then use your spoon to
Slice
scoop
it.
it.
Okay.
And then use, if this stays in, then stays in. If not, you can use your fork as a pusher to push
Yeah.
to your
Ah.
cake. And if you'd like, put your hand underneath it.
All right.
And cake to you, not you to the cake.
Ha.
And you just eat it.
Okay. I
Okay?
learned something new now.
Yeah.
You know,
A lot
always
today.
let the food come into you,
Yeah,
not
don't
us
go
to
for
the
the
food.
food.
All
Right.
right. All right.
And that's pretty tough also. It's one
Yeah.
of the toughest ones that even with seasoned
Exactly.
Right.
people who understand table manners, it's one of the, because it's natural you go to the food.
Exactly,
Right?
and the old habits.
Yeah.
Sometimes we want to
Out of habit.
like we want to make it, us to very close to the food, so it doesn't,
Spill
going
over.
around.
Yeah, so-
Exactly.
so the
but
key is to
the
secure it
manner
here,
is like that.
actually.
Okay, and the next one is
Last
since you have the words angunli,
Angunli.
slay, not Barbary,
Slay in the barbecue.
as well.
Okay.
You eat. We can eat the cheese ball snacks using the the chops.
Yeah, so look, I have no problem eating with hands, and snacks are delicious with hands, as with French fries and stuff. But in the event you're working or
Right.
something is too spicy and you don't want to spice up your fingers, and
Right.
it's very useful for because I wear contact lenses. I don't want no smell or spicy hot
Ah,
fingers.
yeah, yeah,
So you
yeah.
just use
Sure.
your chopsticks
Huh.
Wow,
and
chopsticks.
eat
My first time.
your crackers and
Oh.
snacks and keep your laptop clean and everything.
Right.
And the way you hold your chopstick is the bottom. All right.
Okay.
Right.
I honestly get made fun all the time for holding my chopstick because I can't actually hold a chopstick
Right.
properly.
So you hold it like a pen, actually.
like this.
The bottom part rests on your fourth finger. Like so.
Oh, like this.
And you keep it parallel.
Okay.
You hold it. Okay.
Okay.
You hold it. Hold
Like
the top
this?
part like a pen, and the bottom part slide it through your thumb
Okay.
Like that.
and your fourth finger, and you only move the top part.
Oh.
Now, if your chopstick goes like this,
Yeah.
it means you're not keeping your thumb straight. The thumb has to always be straight.
Yeah.
Yes, it's always be straight, okay? Because in Chinese cultures where we use chopsticks a lot, you cannot do one of these crosses. It's rude.
Can I
and-
show you how I usually hold my chopstick
Yes,
and see
how?
if that's acceptable?
Okay.
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 This is not allowed, is
So,
I think we're the same, Karina. We can.
yeah, in traditional Chinese culture, you shouldn't cross your chopsticks. And your hands should always face this way and not this way.
This
is
one,
called
like
fun,
this?
Why? And, yes. So your eyeballs are up, not
Yeah.
this way. This is very rude.
Oh, wow, this whole
okay,
time I
this
thought I
is
could use
also
a chopstick,
manners in
Shafira.
Chinese, right? In Chinese table manner, they
okay.
also
Yes.
have their own manner, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
so table
Oh,
manners
wow, okay.
applies to
Yeah,
across
cultural.
all cultures.
This is no. This is
all
yes.
No,
habits.
no, like this.
No,
Yeah,
yes.
you can do it. So this is very good, very
Oh,
good.
because
And then you pick one up,
They're showing like openness,
and then you
right?
eat it, right?
Okay, I'm just gonna.
And the chopstick is coming to
Oh.
us.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, at least you have a hand there. Yeah, at least you got a hand there.
Can we go? Can we take the fall?
If you're comfortable.
Oh,
If it
but-
falls on the floor or the table, no.
No.
Oh,
If you're comfortable
okay.
eating with your hand,
Oh,
sure.
So if
Sure,
it
why
falls
not?
on your hand, it's fine.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Let's hope that your hands are clean before you eat, right?
like this.
So you have to wash your
it.
hands before you
That's
eat.
what Mama says.
It tastes different.
It does.
Exactly.
Better with
It's
the chopstick.
better
it's
with
like
the
fine
chopstick.
dining.
And one thing, we eat more mindfully,
Yes.
right?
So
Because
that is true.
we are eating more mindfully because we have to be careful. We take one by one, not rush or something.
Right. And I feel that, with the video you saw earlier, deboning skin and cutting up food, I think it sort of respects the food as well.
Yeah.
You're not just anyhow, you eat how it's supposed to be eaten.
Especially when you're in a situation when you're out at an event of a dining experience, so much thought and effort is put into that. We have to appreciate.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
As
So,
well, right?
yeah.
And Chef, since we have a lot of events to attend at the moment, beside food and drinks and everything, as a, we are very enthusiastic, to support our friends who come and everything. So, can you show us how to clap properly?
Oh, okay.
Yes, because sometimes we are very enthusiastic, sometimes we are like, clapping our hands like there is no other days.
Barbarly.
Barbarly, woo! But how to do it properly?
As a lady.
First of all, if you're going to a formal occasion, you sort of have to learn how to curb your enthusiasm.
Yes.
And-
That I need practice.
So
We need.
it's definitely understandable if you are totally hyped up and you go like this. and make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
I understand, but it's not quite nice.
Yeah.
To make so much noise. So what you do is you take one hand. I usually take my left hand, that's still one, and your other hand, the right hand, and you only move one hand.
Oh, wow.
So this is how
Congratulations.
you can show your appreciation, make a little noise, but not being barbarly. This is only, just clap like this, right?
Okay, just do it decently.
Right?
Okay, thank you so much.